Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. I hope you had a great weekend. I'm Judy Prouty, and this is Wholly Devoted to You, just kind of a little thought for the week. And what I wanted to talk to you about for a couple of minutes is something that somebody actually sent to me. Um, I really was ministered to by what this said, and I'm adding a little bit to it. But I want to talk just for a couple of minutes about disappointment, because we all go through it. Much of the disappointment that we face and that we deal with, both with people and even when we feel like we're disappointed in the way we haven't seen the answer to prayer the way we should have or whatever, it doesn't always come from promises that haven't been kept. Disappointment can come from our own expectations. And we kind of silently, quietly add attachments to some of the promises that are made to us or things that are said to us. And we feel like we understand. I think, somebody's going to do this way, or I think they're going to do it in such and such amount of time, or I expect that they understand what my vision is for whatever they're doing. The apostles believed in Jesus. They believed in the Messiah. They trusted the scriptures. They followed Jesus faithfully. And yet, they were expecting sort of a military savior, a king that was going to overthrow Rome and restore to Israel their power back. And they wanted that to be something that they could see. And even after Jesus was crucified and died and was resurrected, they still asked him again in Acts 1 verse 6, "Lord, will you at this time restore the kingdom to Israel?" So they were still looking at their own expectations of how things were going to be done, and they were actually saying to the Lord, "Now will you do something?" And so their disappointment wasn't rooted in unbelief. It was rooted in assumptions, in their very own assumptions of how things would be done. They assumed that they understood how God would fulfill what he had promised. And when expectations settle into certainties, they become pressure for friends to act in a specific way, or for God to act in a specific way, pressure for people to be able to fulfill our interpretations, pressure that comes disguised as justice, thinking I know best, and other people need to read my mind or know how to follow what I'm thinking. I can tell you I've been through this, and so I understand this. Holding someone to their word can sometimes fall into the demand that they fulfill their promise according to my understanding of what they should be doing. And when that happens, disappointment can even turn into accusation, complaining, that this wasn't done the way I thought it should be done. There are questions that we need to ask ourselves when we are disappointed about something, whether it's with our best friend or our family member or our boss or even with the Lord. What is my disappointment rooted in? That's the first thing we should ask ourselves. Is it rooted in what's true? Is it rooted in unbelief? Or is it even possible that it's rooted in my assumptions of how things should be going? Very, very often people are not trying to upset us, and God certainly is not trying to upset us. But people just see things from a little bit different perspective or viewpoint sometimes. And so asking ourselves a few simple questions can save a lot of heartache in the future. That's just something for you to think about this week. God bless you and have a great week.